I want to make a prediction. There are things that we know of and see in this world, but choose to consciously ignore them until it is in our face. There are going to be a lot of things that are being unveiled because there is a collective of consciousness that is becoming stronger. Our magnetic field is magnifying the darkness and lifting that veil. The mindsets of the people in the third dimensional mind state that are still in a victim mindset are still in a poverty mindset of the third dimensional mind state, because the moon is what is being hidden. And when you have a greater influence to hide those things, because moon influences things like our behavior. It has an impact and an influence on our behavior. And so the veil is being lifted. Things are going to be brought to light, even in the politics and everything. All those things are meant to divide. There is a divide shift happening, but we're all connected. Everything is connected. The elemental forces are connected within us, our dark and our life, but our dark and our light. Our elemental forces represent our mechanical system within us, and the chakras, the alignments, when they're blocked off and our life force can't flow and connect to higher realms because of the blockage. And so trauma is a disease with many conditions. A lot of people suffer from not feeling good enough, self-worth and self-love. It all comes down to that. The dark forces of the false light world have been controlling the mindsets of souls for a long time. And because this is their world, the false light world, heaven and hell is a state of mind. Everything exists within us, and to expand the consciousness, the body is like is an avatar. The consciousness is a vehicle for the soul, and when you're receptors to the body, everything has an influence and is impacted by one another. Everything is connected, and our reality is a projection of our light within us. And when our light is not strong enough, our light is easily influenced because it's more of particles and not more of a mass of consciousness. It's less magnified. Our light is less magnified, and we tend to do things like repeat cycles and have pattern like behaviors. And so to expand that consciousness out of a third dimensional mindset, out of a third dimensional mind state. And I say those two words because they all go together. In order to do that, you got to become the observer. You got to do what is called witnessing consciousness. You got to go within, because everything starts from within, is projected out and reflected back to us from the outside world. Everything starts from the inside world of how we perceive things to be true, even how we perceive things to be true about ourselves. And so we have these conditioned belief systems of what we believe to be true about ourselves that limit our consciousness from expanding. And the first step is to become the observer and to go inside of yourself. It allows you to create space for yourself, to create that space for yourself. So I encourage you to quiet your mind, go within yourself, and take a look at your environment, what you're keeping around you, what relationships, what is the relationship between the relationships you're keeping around you. Like, what is that relationship doing to your life force energy? Is it adding value to your life force energy or taking from your life force energy? And what is the connection in that relationship to you? Because everything that we have relationships with is a reflection of ourselves. It's an opportunity to, these life experiences is an opportunity to heal and ascend the soul, to heal the ancestral karma and generational trauma that we have been born into. In order to ascend the soul, you got to descend to come back down to that body, the third dimensional, because the body exists in the third dimensional space. And so it allows us to create life. Heaven and hell is a mindset. We can create heaven on earth, the earth that exists within us and is projected out and reflected back to us. And so I say that over because there is power in repetition, and there are things designed. I don't watch TV, I don't read a lot of books. I try to, and the thing is, I'm shown by experience, I'm led by experience, and I'm led by spirit to share these things and teach these things, because teach by sharing my experience, because the teacher is the student and the student is the teacher. And I want to tell you that because I used to suffer, and suffering is uncontrolled pain. And when hot and cold are the same thing, the only difference is the degree. You have the power to control your reality and gain control over your mindset of suffering and pull yourself out of that suffering. You are your own savior. You are the savior. The Christ exists within you. Christ was an ascended master and is an ascended master, because simultaneously we exist on different timelines, and is how our energy still lives off into this world. I can write something on a paper, energy doesn't die, it changes form. And I can burn that paper and it will still live, because my life force energy that manifested in a physical plane still exists in a different plane, and still exists in the physical plane, just in a different way, in a different form of light. And so, become like water, because water takes the shape of many different forms it comes in contact with. And you can either be a wave of chaos, or fight against the wave, or ride the wave of life. And you have the power to manipulate energy to work in your favor for good around you once you master yourself. You have the power to control your reality and not let your reality control you, because it's the way we're looking at things. When you look at things different, the things you look at start to change. And I always say that. And I say that because we manifest our reality. It's like tuning to different stations, different frequencies. We are shifting perceptions of ourselves all the time. When we go to work, we're in a more logical space, the more air energy. That's our air element. We're in a more logical space versus when we come home and be a parent. If you are a parent, or I'm just using this as an example, we're in a more of a water energy as well. We tap into a more emotional energy, our emotional state. And so the connections between the elemental forces that exist within us, that is projected outside of us, and reflected back to us, is an interconnection of life itself. And it relays information about our internal self. And so going within yourself and is the first step, self-reflecting, and then also applying what you are learning and making decisions, making healthy choices to take on certain relationships, and not to take on certain relationships, developing your own value system, developing your own belief systems, not just what we were conditioned to believe, even by people's actions. Conditioning has many different forms. Language has many different forms. And so I only have 10 minutes on here, but I just wanted to stop and say that and encourage you to go within yourself, because things are, as the collective becomes more of mass and a collective of consciousness, our light magnifies, and so the veil has to become stronger to keep you guys blind and asleep and hidden. So it's time to wake up out of the third dimensional mindset and know who you are. Knowing thyself is power and key to controlling your own reality.